So the episode starts with Yuta's voiceover where he was saying, since resources are finite, we need rules for colony entry exit, but indiscriminate players like Groove can't be let outside the barrier. We must eliminate similar players in other colonies. That doesn't really matter, so we can move on. After that, we got to see Yuta is protecting civilians, which I have no idea how are they still here if Kenjaku is giving every non-sorcerer a chance to leave, but anyway. After defeating Groove in the last episode, Yuta tells everyone to go inside the stadium. And as Yuta says that, a group of cockroaches attack two civilians. Later, Yuta discovers that it was Korushi, a special grade cockroach curse freed by Kenjaku. Then we get to see Yuta vs Korushi fight, where Yuta realizes two high-ranked sorcerers are watching him. And since we know that Yuta can transfer positive energy into others, so he can just do that with Korushi in order to kill it. But since he's getting observed, he can't do this, because no one knows about that Yuta can do this and he doesn't want it to be exposed obviously. So he has no other choice but to fight manually. But Korushi is just way too powerful and it almost defeated Yuta. But when it was about to devour him, Yuta straight bite this and it does. Which I liked about anime because in manga, it looked more kissing than biting. And if you are a Reddit user, you must have seen those memes, so respect to map animators. Anyway, after defeating that thing, when Yuta was heaving, at that time Uro strikes at him. Her technique is really unique. It's called sky manipulation, which treats space as surface. Later in the episode she uses that, so we'll see this then, but for now, Yuta asks her some questions to piss her off, maybe like, you don't mind being killed, right? Like? What the fuck? And because of that, Uro speculates that Yuta is a Fujiwara. But we all know from JJK 0 that Yuta is a Sugawara and he is related to Gojo in some way. Anyway, while Uro was fighting Yuta in mid-air, Ryu struck them with grenade blast. That pisses both of them off and they decided to hunt Ishigori. His technique discussed later in this episode, so we'll get into that then. And what an animation, dude. It was great. Anyway, when Ishigori is thinking Okutsu is gone, he strikes him from a side.
Hello, motherfucker.
And then Yuta requests him to fight more efficiently. That Ishigori tells about his previous life, where the only regret he has that he hasn't full yet because he had no dessert. And then he strikes Yuta and this fight was awesome. There were some anime original scenes too, which I really liked, especially Yuta's action. Anyway, during this fight, Yuta's katana got snipped, so he has to be on his own now. Later in this fight, Uro interrupts and uses her technique Thin Ice Break on Yuta and also deflect Ryu's attack using her technique, which is important because Yuta will use them later in this episode. Anyway, then Yuta wears his ring to call Rika and it comes, but with a catch. Rika will stay only for 5 minutes, so Yuta has to do whatever he wants in these 5 minutes. Then Yuta uses cursed speech on Uro and then both Yuta and Rika strike her. And between this, Ryu interrupt and also join the fight. This fight was so intense that I can't even describe with my words. It was absolute cinema. Later they all form a triangle and do a domain clash. And among this, somehow Korushi interrupts. Narrator explains that before going dormant, Korushi had completed parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis is a natural form of a sexual reproduction which an embryo develops from an unfertilized egg cell without the need of male genetic contribution. Well, what the fuck was that? And since we know that Korushi is a cockroach, so that makes sense. This is why Korushi still lives as a cursed spirit, and because of a chaotic three-way domain clash and an unplanned intruder, the domain collapses. Then Yuta pushed Uro to Korushi that cut her arm off that Rika consumed. Then Ryu gives a final hit to Uro. The narrator explains Ishigori's cursed technique, which is cursed energy discharge. This extremely simple attack works at the same level even when the technique burns out. Then they both decided to go all out. Among this, we got to know that only during Rika's full manifestation, Yuta can use high output cursed energy, but still, his peak is slightly below than Ishigori's. From that, you can imagine how much powerful Ishigori is, but here Yuta pulls a genius move. Since both of them were at their peak, Yuta deflects Ishigori's grenade blast and then used Thin Icebreaker on him. While Ishigori was about to attack, Yuta held him for a second and hit him with his deflected grenade blast to defeat him. Not to mention that season 3 theme was playing in the background. Anyway, later on, Yuta and Ishigori have a conversation, and this is where it ends. And then we get to see some future shot of part 2, but I'm not talking about this here. If you want, then leave a comment below. And yeah, this is where it ends.